Welcome everyone to another episode of Palate Encounters. My name is Stephanie Cow-Fowler. I'm the Regional Settlement Coordinator for the Association for New Canadians in Fort Howe. I'm here today with Elsie Barney, and she's going to show us a traditional meal from Newfoundland and Labrador.
Hi, my name is Elsie Barney. I'm originally from Long Point, and I moved here 33 years ago in Newfoundland, in Labrador, in Labrador. So I did attended a few cooking classes from the newcomers that came. Very interesting, love their food, interested in what they like, what they had out there, and all this stuff. So I said to Stephanie, I said I would like to share my food that we do here in Labrador. So it's gonna be fish and brews today. It's a Friday dish. On a Friday we always cook fish, so we could either do fish and brews, fish and potatoes. So we just made, that's our Friday's tradition since I've been a young girl. So now we'll start off with cutting up the onions. We have pork to go with this fish and brews. We have the bread that you have to soak in the night in the water. You put the bread into it and you just put the water over the bread and it soaks for the night. And then we have the fish. You could use, this is fresh fish. I got fillet, but you could use fish, fresh fish or salt fish. So while you're cutting up the onions and getting that ready, you get your grease. You put some grease in the bottom of the frying pan and just warms it up. Then you get your bowl of water, and that's for your fish fillets. You have to boil the fish, so you turn that on all one time because the fish takes about 15 minutes to boil. And so I'll get my onions cut up now for the put in there, and a little bit of pork. Okay, sometimes if you just use pork, because you got pork and onion, if you use pork, you don't need the grease. So today I'm just going to use the onion. So this is the pork. So sometimes during the little cubes, sometimes people put the pork in there, and that's the grease already. It's already greasy and it's salty. So some people prefer just put that in as for to fry it up, and it's salty already, so you don't have to add so much salt. But that's for some people that like that. But I like it just fried onions because I find that it's really hard on your stomach. It's really hard on your stomach, and it's greasy too, so that's why I don't like it. But I know that the older people, that's all they ever eat is the pork. Now I'm going to cut up the onions, slice up the onions to get it ready. So where I got the grease put in the frying pan, so I cut up the onions small. Grease is hot, it's in the pan, so now I'm going to fry put my onions in. Just cook it till it gets brown on all the sides. That's all you do with this. Now I got my, while the pot is getting ready to boil, I'm going to put my fish in after. Put a few pieces of pork, just a little bit of salt, that I wouldn't have to add so much salt into it. There we go. Now the onions are starting to fry and it's getting brown. So you just keep stirring it over. And there's pork into it too, so which you don't see very much of this. You can't even see it now. It's so small. Oh, there's one piece right here. So it's very small, but it is salty. Pork is salty, and that makes it makes a lot of grease too. So you just stirs it up till it gets brown. In the meantime, your water is going to get boiled. Once the water boils, I put my fish into it and fill it. It takes 15 minutes to boil this fish, because if you boil it too much, it will just go all like a tissue paper. You know, the more it cooks it, well, but fish don't take very long. Because fish is, I don't know why it takes only this short time to do. I don't have no explanation. So I just take my fish and put the piece in there. 3 piece.
Kind of fishes?
It's a fillet fish. and it's I bought it at the shrimp company. So it's Atlantic Ocean cod.
Codfish.
Yeah, codfish. And I lounge my clock for 15 minutes. My onions are just about done. So while that's falling, I'm going to turn this off then after. I want it to, that's perfect. Okay, then we'll put the cover on top of that. Put the cover on to keep it even. Watch that the water don't just overflow. That happens sometimes when it's falling. So this is good enough for fried. That's fried enough now. So you turn it on. And that's it for that part. So this is the hard bread, and it comes, and you could get two kinds. You could get this one with the cholesterol free. It's hard bread, low fat, or you could get the sweet one. And the sweet one's really good too. But so what happens? They come out like this, and they're hard. That's what you call hard bread. So when you put it in the water in the nighttime, you see, it softens up. So this all like this would be. I put it on last night, and now it's like afternoon, and that's what it turns out. It gets like it expands because look, I put in 3, and this is what you get.
That's 3.
Yeah. So this is it. Okay. So I took a 3 for today for what I had, but if you got like for a big family, you could feed at least for sure 6 people with this amount. But if you want just to take out 1 and a little bit of fish for like a couple people, it's plenty. So you could do the portions as you go. So you could see that 3 pieces could make a lot of fish and brews. So I'm just going to like pick it out a little bit, just a little bit. That's all, because I like the big blocks like that. So when you do fish and brews, you put your bread on in the nighttime if you were planning having it for dinner. So you soak your bread in the nighttime if you're planning to have it for dinner. If you decide to have it for supper, you soak it in the morning, and you could have it for supper. It's like at least a half a day for the bread to turn out like that, from the hard to the soft. So now the fish is boiled. So it turns off the stove. Oven mitts to keep you safe. There's the water and the fish, and I just take it and my pot. And I'll put my pot over here. Now, just drain that out. Make sure the water's hot for the kettle, because you have to boil the kettle for the soak your bread after. So this is good. Put this in the pot. Okay, the water's hot. Just throw it over your bread like that.
And this is to warm it up?
Yeah, that's to warm it up.
Don't lose your bread.
No, so it goes in the pot like that. You put your onions and your grease, everything in there. Like that. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Loves pepper. And you just stirs it up. See? And you see the bread is still like a little bit, it's not so, you still see the hard bread.
Yeah.
And the fish has gone through. That's it. Mix it up together and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. And so you put it in the little plate. And I like it with pickles. You could use beets on the side. And you could display it with a little bit of pickles. Yeah.
You're running low on
Little bit
pickles.
pickles on the side and juice. And enjoy. Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm looking at the bread is more drier, but when you put it on the stove, there's a little bit of water. When you want to use it, you could steep it on the stove and put a little bit of water and just stir it, but it gets more like soggier. But I find that you just put hot water from the kettle over the strainer and strain it like that and just throw it into the pot. It's a lot fresher, it's a lot better. And you get the full effect of the bread and it's more drier.
All right, thank you, Elsie, for this fish and brews. I didn't think it would take that fast to make it, but apparently it's just the softening of the bread which takes up most of the time to make this dish. All right, thank you so much, Elsie, for sparing us a few minutes of your time, and we're going to dig in.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.